Lacrosse, the oldest Native American game, is enjoying new interest around the world. The United States, Canada, England, and Australia supply the traditional rivalries, but they are being challenged by new teams from Japan and the Iroquois Nation, and soon Czechoslovakia. In 1988, the U.S. won the first Junior World Championship in Australia. Now, as host country, they have a chance to defend that title against the best young talent in the world. Crime Network presents the best of international lacrosse. Today from Hofstra Stadium, just outside of New York, it's the Under-19 World Lacrosse Championships featuring the gold medal game, Australia challenging the defending champion United States. Great conditions here at Hofstra for lacrosse. Hi, everybody. I'm Lee Felsmo. I'll be bringing you the play-by-play. Joining me, Bob Rule, former All-American goalie from Cornell, and a coach of some of this young talent. Young talent, the key for all these developing teams.
Well, what's nice about this is that the rules are a little bit different in the international game, so this gives our players a valuable experience in playing the international game, and it gives them a leg up on making the world team in a couple of years.
Let's take a look at the teams, Bob, who came into this World Championships for the 19 and under category and how they did in the round-robin competition.
Well, in first place, it's no surprise. The USA really went through everybody pretty well, except for Australia. Australia gave them the best game with a 14-9 game in the very first game of the round-robin. Australia, a little bit of an upset, beating Canada to make it to the gold medal round. Canada, England, Iroquois, and Japan all kind of following along behind.
The Japanese are very much of a surprise team, even though they did not win. But we're focusing now on the first two teams. Australian team giving every chance now to win today. Everybody thinks they've got the firepower. They are loaded. Let's take a look at how they got to this game. United States, the only loss they suffered.
And a good loss for them. It was a nip-and-tuck game till almost the end. Then good, strong wins against England, Japan, Iroquois. And what I liked, they fell behind against Canada 6-2 and came back, roared back, and beat them decisively 25-10.
Well, Bob, everybody gives this team a chance to win because of their great firepower, and this is one of the guys they count on.
Well, he's amongst three of the players that scored over 20 points. Mark Mangan is a tough, hard-nosed attackman, and he has got to put the ball in the goal in order to give them a chance to win today.
Okay, so Australia looks to be very tough against the team from the United States. Of course, they're the defending champion. Everybody expected them to be in this game. They're very loaded. Let's take a look at how they got to this final game. Great success throughout the week.
Well, again, Australia provided them with the toughest game that they had, and then they really got rolling. Their great depth and great balance is really going to make it difficult to beat them.
All right, and they also have talent on all ends of the field, a lot of firepower from both teams today. But who does the United States look to score?
Well, Davey Marr. It's funny, he's the youngest boy on the team, and yet he is the high scorer with 26 points. He's really their key, and more so, I think, for assists. He's got to be able to dish the ball out today and get it to the real scorers out in the midfield. Davey
Marr, a great story, and a lot of great stories will be happening in this game, a lot of it from the sidelines where the battle is really taking place. All throughout today's game, we'll go down to that sideline and meet our Carl Reuter.
And Leaf, as you and Bob talked about, everybody expected the United States. Well, they're here. Australia is also here. The gold medal is on the line. Remember this, two high-scoring power teams offensively, and we'll be down here giving you all the insight throughout the game.
Well, thank you, Carl. Bob Rule now will be back with the opening face-off and the starting lineups in just a moment. Welcome back to Hofstra Stadium. We're getting ready for the gold medal game. I'm Lee Felsmo, along with Bob Rule. Carl Reuter's on our sideline, and this is a big one for these two teams. Look at the crowd here at Hofstra Stadium. Beautiful conditions. We've talked about the weather. Everything ideal in the early afternoon. The United States in white with the blue shorts. The Australians in the green jerseys with the gold shorts. Also, in this, Bob, I was going to say, for the international rules, a little bit of difference. We'll talk about that in a minute, but let's look at the goaltenders.
Okay, Scott Garswood, 27 saves in 2 games, is the hot goaltender right now, and he's got to come up big today against the USA.
And looks like he might be tested early. Ryan Wade gets a shot early on, goes out of bounds, and USA will maintain possession, backed up by Kevin Jacobs. In the goal for U.S.
Okay, Jay Stauffer from Virginia. Again, he gets a starting nod based on a strong effort in his last game.
The United States gets the first face-off early in the first quarter. 25-minute running time quarters, Bob. Is that the biggest difference for international rules?
Well, there's a couple of things. Also, there's no replacement if you get the ball in the line if you're down a man, so you have to play 5-on-6 offensively.
This is the matchup that everybody was dreaming about. The United States undefeated, 5-0 coming in. Look at that save. Beautiful save to start off the offense. Scott Garnsworthy in the goal for the Aussies.
And that first save is so important for goaltender. And it was a hard shot, but it was shot at his stick. And that made for an easier save and kind of sets the tone for him.
United States still on offense, though. And they'll take it back out to the midfield. Craig Traynor gets it over to the wing, and this is Ryan Wade for North Carolina. He'll be a junior there, so he's got a great experience. His first year at North Carolina. He's in a national championship. Last year he had playoff exposure. Another great save by the Australian goalie, and Garnsworthy is really feeling his oats.
And I noticed too that they are very quick, very quick to double.
There he is, Coach Ross of the Australian squad, and this team is ready to play. Everybody talked about how much commitment this Australian team had to these under-19 World Games. They've really put a lot of time and energy into developing this junior team. They only had one loss, the one loss to the United States. That was a 5-goal loss in pretty terrible conditions, Bob. A lot of rain.
Friday night it was 14-9, but they said it was a close game for most of the game. The U.S. broke it open in the fourth quarter.
And, of course, that would be a great experience anyway for the Australians, who don't get to play against this talent all that much. Finally, the third shot is the one that finds the mark. A shot in close, beating the goalie this time, and that was number 10, David Evans, for the first goal for the USA.
Well, the United States has got to control the ball just like they're doing, and conversely, Australia has got to get the United States out of their offense and create a situation where they're controlling the ball. Face-off's absolutely key.
Evans gets the first goal.
And you see in the replay, he just finds a man open on the crease, and it's a good low bounce shot close in. Very difficult for a goalie to make that save.
Starting lineups for the United States, as we look back, were David Evans, Jacobs, and Marr on the attack, Colsey, Trainer, and Wade in the midfield, Wilson, Iorio, and Beardsley on defense, Stauffer in the goal. For Australia, it was Knight, Mangan, and Stammers on attack, Whiteman, Buscombe, and Schomburg on midfield, Barwell, Wincher, and Jarvis on the defense. And of course, the goalie who has already been busy, Garnsworthy.
And those two Australians very quick to double on a man who seems to be coming around the goal, and that could create some real opportunities in front.
The United States again controlling. They've had the ball the whole game in the offensive end. That one just absolutely bounces off of the cutting player, and it looked like the cutting player was Kevin Jacobs coming off the crease. Very tricky play. It looked like it bounced off him and into the goal.
But what started that play too is the Australian defenseman was very quick to double on the man with the ball, and it was thrown to the open man. You'll see in the replay, here comes the double, there comes the double, and he flips it to that front guy. Really was a deflection.
And it was Curran that got the goal, so 2-0 for the United States early on in quarter number 1. Running time, we've gone through about 4 minutes of this game, but Australia has not had the offense yet. The game I saw was Australia-Canada. Canada was out to a 7-3 lead first quarter, so Australia may be a little slow starting.
Well, if they're slow starting against the USA, they might be down by 20 goals before they're ready to play.
That one batted away by the long sticks defense. Matt Windsor, the co-captain.
The first 5 minutes of the game, the ball has not been on the Australian offensive side of the field.
The U.S. has another unit in here as they get ready to kick in the gear. Then on offense, Curran, number 20, starts with the ball. Severin, number 23, is made out in front. This is Curran. Severin now cutting underneath him. A little clear out. Double team. He looks for help. Slides down. That's AstroTurf in good condition. Very soft, though. AstroTurf normally firm. This is a very cushiony surface. A little tricky, I think, because of that. The United States picks it back up. Open shot. Bang, and a goal. 2-0. And just like that, the U.S. is out in front. Matt Windsor could not get the head to stick on that defensive play, and Curran gets his second goal of the game.
And it started really, the goaltender, the ball was flipped back. The goalie really wasn't aggressive coming out in the ball. It was intercepted, thrown to Curran, and Curran scores.
3-0 USA. And Curran, 2 quick goals.
And there it is, a loose ball, and he tries to scoop it to the goalie, and the goalies really should have come out and gotten the ball. And this Curran, he rifles a left-hand sidearm shot. Actually, a good shot off the goalie's hip.
Evans is the guy who picked up that ball, actually intercepted it.
Yeah, it was really more of a hockey play. Yeah, deflection went in, but they all count.
That was the second goal of the game, bounced off his leg. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a timeout by Australia if they ever get the ball. On the face-off now, USA obviously in the white jerseys, Australia green and gold. They need possession badly. Finally, they get one. Oh, and then throw it right out of bounds. This team is feeling a little pressure. Of course, high expectations is pressure enough. But when you're down 3-0 real quick, it doesn't help. Matt Schomburg was at the face-off and threw the ball away.
Well, they need some action on offense, either a goal, even a good shot, a good offensive flurry. They're real tight right now, and they look real nervous.
This is the Ryan Wade unit that started the game. Colsey, Trainer, and Wade. What an outfit that is. Knocked down out in front as the ball tried to be passed through. Keir Jarvis. Ooh, solid hit by the United States as they're going through trying to get possession of the ball. And that's good action by Kevin Jacobs, 15.
Okay, it was Kevin Jacobs.
So we did correct that. Jacobs got the second goal. And just to remind you, Evans the first, Jacobs the second from Kern. Kern gets the third. 3 different USA players, Bob.
Well, it just kind of illustrates, too, the depth of the United States team, where they have 3 different play for scoring.
3-0 lead. And look at the foot speed there for the United States as they bring it down on the offensive end. Big Trainer 16 out in front to Ryan Wade. Left-handed, absolutely cannon speed shot. Here it is. Boom, and a good save. Scott Garnsworthy, boy, he's had some pressure early on. He's taking shots right in his chest.
You know, he just made a nice save, and he's the man who beat the USA team to the ball, so he's made a nice play on that. 3
saves so far for Garnsworthy. Now, Roy Colsey's in there. They're going to put a little pressure on this ride, this inbound. David Marr, I should say, is number 3. David Marr. A good story there. We'll talk about him as the game goes on. But number 3 for the United States is David Marr, the youngest player. We talked about him in the open. Yet, at the youngest player at that age, he's still leading this team in scoring.
Tony Seaman and Johns Hopkins must be salivating, waiting for him to show up in the fall.
Tony Seaman building a program at Hopkins, or rebuilding, I should say. Perennially one of the best programs in the country, and a little bit of a dip from what you would normally expect over the last couple years. Australia finally gets into the offensive end. 16:46 on the clock. That means it took them almost 9 minutes, and they throw it out of bounds again, so they don't get to settle it down. Not a shot taken yet, I don't think, on the American goalie. Rick Beardsley from Syracuse, playing for the University of Syracuse. Look at, he wants to hold on to that ball. Finally gives it up.
I think Rick was in the top 8 scorers at Syracuse as a defenseman, so he likes to shoot if he gets a shot.
Gives it off the Trainer. Still that first unit on the field right now for the United States.
Again, really too quick to double. Really too quick to double. Leave those guys open on the crease.
U.S. gets goal number 4. And Ryan Wade just too tough to stop. Art Graham from the sideline. Everything is going his way right now. Congratulating the players as they come off. And this kid right here, Scott Garnsworthy, has had tremendous pressure. The defense a little bit aggressive against the tremendous stick work.
Well, I think they're really too quick to back up. And again, we're going to see it. They slide from the crease. There's a pass miss. And there is a man all by himself on the crease and bang, the goal. The far defenseman has got to come up and help out on the crease.
You can get away with those kind of slides against some of the lesser competition. The United States is absolutely eating that for lunch. Ball thrown out of bounds. Signor couldn't handle it. Now Australia will have another chance to get it in their offensive end. They haven't had it there yet. Can you believe that? There's 10 minutes gone in the first quarter, and they haven't seen a shot. Shots are 9-0 in favor of the United States.
Could count that one as a shot, too.
The Aussies are bringing it up now. This team, again, I talked about the commitment. They really put together a program, an aggressive program, to be competitive in these World Games for the 19 and under age. Jason Davenport working out front under tremendous pressure. And he's getting that pressure from Higgins, but he comes in close and finally tests the goalie for the U.S. And they saw the pressure coming from Higgins. That's an interesting story right there, the big defenseman.
Nice save by Stafford. And Higgins is playing for a second championship in less than 3 months. He was on the Princeton team that won the national championship, and now he's playing for the world championship. So it's quite a year for him.
Bob Hartranft,
a baseball player and who wanted originally to coach baseball. Now he's coaching lacrosse.
So a penalty on the Australian team gives an extra man to the United States. The penalty is on number 24. That's Matt Cahill from Western Australia. 6-on-5. Let's see what the U.S. does on their extra man. They'll start with the 3-3. Everybody out front. David Marr cuts through, and they get into a different formation. Defense doesn't bait behind the back pass. Right out in front. How easy is that? 2 passes. It started with Trainer, went back to Marr, and it ended up on the crease with number 10, David Evans.
Well, what you saw there was a real clinic on how to pass that ball and how to cut to the goal.
I'd be surprised if they didn't call a timeout here, Bob. You've got 5-0. You're almost out of the game. It's only, what,
well,
8 minutes into it?
About 10 minutes. Here we go. That behind-the-back pass, and, boy, the U.S. team is just playing with so much confidence. And no crease man. You've got to have a guy there to cut off any man cutting to the crease.
Confusion is the basic objective of an extra man play on that defense, and they did confuse the inside, the interior of that defensive alignment. Again, a shot in on this goalie who is absolutely getting shell-shocked. Garnsworthy has been pummeled with shots. That's a word I learned from you, Bob.
Pummeled.
From the CBS broadcast.
And you know, it's funny, he had Jacobs all by himself on the corner. If you give him the ball up, Jacobs would have had a one-on-one right on the corner.
The United States continuing to control the ball. One shot has been taken against the United States goalie, Jay Stalford. Otherwise, it's been all USA. Nobody would have guessed that it would be this one-sided this early.
Well, the Australians started off really slowly against the Canadians before, being down 6-2, but I don't think they can afford to be down much more against the USA team. I think they can come back.
Ball out front. David Signor working in it. Finally gives it over to his teammate Sheehan. Sheehan gives it back to Signor, and Signor lights it up.
A rifle, and he shot underhand, the ball rising up and hitting the top corner. Excellent shot.
6-0. Unbelievable.
I'm not a great lover of underhand shots, but that's as good as one as you can take.
Well, finally they call a timeout. This one's all USA early in the first quarter. We'll be back to Hofstra Stadium in just a moment. Stadium, and here's the coach of the United States upset. I don't know what about. It's 6-0, and things are going all his ways. They get set for yet another face-off. Australia just called a timeout. Maybe Carl Royer on the sideline can fill us in on what the emotions are going on down there.
In practice that there is no love lost between these two teams. In fact, last week, USA was practicing. Bob Hartenraff looked at the down far side of the field as we watched the action, and it was on the field beyond Hofstra Stadium, and he noticed someone lying down in the grass. Well, it was somebody from Australia that had a video camera, and he didn't like it that somebody was taping his practice. So what happened was Bob Hartenraff went out, and he was going to scout one of the Aussies' practices. Well, all the Australian team did that day was just stick drills. After that, it was discussed and said there will be no open practices anymore for either team.
Well, that's pretty intense stuff for under-19 championships, but 7-0. You've seen the score escalate. Evans gets his third goal of the day, and we're talking about midway through the first quarter. I tell you, Scott Garnsworthy has got to be getting affected by this kind of onslaught. Bob, how long can you go with a guy when you're not giving him any support on the defensive end?
And the thing is, he just made a terrific save on a one-on-one against Jacobs, and the ball went out of bounds, and Jacobs was pushed in the crease, so the USA got the ball back. I was hoping that save would kind of turn them around a little bit.
It's definitely not his fault. I don't, from this perspective, he's just getting shots from every which way over the offensive end of the American field. One shot again so far on the goalie for the United States. U.S. again. Well, maybe some of the stuff Carl was talking about to help fuel the fire of no let-up for the United States.
There was another strange thing. Yesterday, the Australians wanted to practice on a grass field and not the AstroTurf, and I thought that was kind of peculiar because they're going to obviously play on this field today.
Well, they came in here, and they must be part of their practice regimen because they wanted to have a grass field from day one for practices. So that was sort of their normal practice routine. Here they're trying to clear again.
If I was playing on AstroTurf, that's where I'd want to practice. So, but everybody has a different idea.
Especially when you're in basically a light stick drill type of practice today for a game, a big game. Australia now gets it back. They've had one hard shot on the goalie Jay Stalford for the United States. Here's Beardsley working on the offense of Australia. Finally, they done it. Mark Mangan. We talked about his offensive strength. This guy can do it. He can bring it to the goal, and he just beats Beardsley. Beardsley playing for Syracuse University, one of the best prospects coming out of high school just 2 years ago.
Well, one of the things, the defense has got to be relaxed a little bit. After being up by 7 goals, they don't feel that intensity. And Beardsley just, if you see the play, Beardsley got behind him early, and to Beardsley's credit, he didn't foul him, but by falling behind him early, he really was never able to catch up. And there was a nice goal by Mangan. He protected the stick well and shot low to the far corner.
Well, it's got to give a little relief to the Australian team. The score now 7-1. This is not unlike the game against Canada, if that's any kind of, easing of their minds. They got behind in that one as well. Brian Wade facing off the United States. He can't get it, but his teammate does, and that's Greg Traynor. Greg Traynor from Conestoga High School. Goes to the University of Virginia, or is planning to.
We see the face-off again. I think he took a little bit of a dive there. A nice dive, though. Enough for the referee to give the ball up to him.
I think the referee would say it was that offhand. You know, his right hand was on his shoulder blade. He gave him a little shove there.
Little push.
So this is another possession for Australia. Good chance for them to get something going. 8:23 left in the first quarter.
They called a penalty. I didn't realize it was a penalty call. I thought it was just loss of possession.
Well, either did I. That's absolutely correct. So it's 6 on 5. They're running their extra man play right now. All 6 guys in front of the goal, but they're in a 1-3-2 if you count from the midfield.
And they try to force it in the middle again, and it's tough from the front.
Beardsley to Higgins. How about that stick work? And they try to get to the attack. Finally do. Rocket shot on the... It looked like it was on the outside of the net, but no, it's in. Goal number 8.
I think it might have deflected off of his right shoulder.
Well, did they make it look easy? Beardsley wrapping the ball around and give it to Higgins. When they talk about these teams and the differences between the junior teams that are here, let's watch the replay first.
Watch Higgins. Look at Higgins' concentration. He still gets the ball to the person he wanted to throw to, and he takes that underhand shot that just clipped his shoulder and went up over and into the goal.
Sticks. There it is. Australia pushing it in close. Another quick goal for them. Mark Mangan is their whole offense right now. 2 goals, 8-2.
And that illustrates what Australia can do best. They've got good stick work. If they get the ball downfield before the USA defense sets up, that's when they'll score their goals.
Mangan really getting their offense undone here. 2 out of the last 3 goals by Mangan. Keeps his team in there. A lot of time left, obviously, in this game. And this Australian team, if they get on track, that's their real secret to staying with the United States, is they've got to score some goals. Defensively, I started to talk about the long sticks. Nobody will argue with you when you talk about the strength of the U.S. being their long sticks players.
I think the hardest thing to teach is defense, or needs the most time, and the other countries don't spend the same amount of time teaching their people to play good defense.
That'll be a penalty on Kevin Jacobs. And a minute slash. Jacobs, a local boy, going to Hofstra.
Again, they have no man behind the goal.
Watch the skip.
But the overload is high. They've got 1, 3, 2. So 4 of the players are very much away from the goal as they work that triangle of defense up there on the top. All the way across. Hard shot. What a rocket.
A rocket.
David Whiteman, a co-captain from Western Australia, right-handed. Boy, that was textbook. They work the right side to the goalie's left. They work it 2 or 3 passes, get it to the far side. The goalie's moving there to meet it, and the hard shot beats him.
And one of the keys is to be able to throw to that offside, and USA really's got to have their sticks up to prevent passes being thrown to the zone. Here we'll see it again. They work the ball real well to the corner and then across, and that ball really almost has to be knocked down. Gives him a chance to wind up, and he just hits that upper left-hand corner. Goaltender, I think, might have been a little bit out of position, too, a little bit anxious.
Great accuracy. That makes the score 8-3. 5 minutes left in the first quarter. Here come the Aussies.
Shades of the Canada-Australian game.
Absolutely. They'd like to get some face-off. Higgins, he's in there on the long sticks on the face-off. Watch out. 2 passes wide open in front of the goal, and they get yet another one right in the face of goalie Garnsworthy.
And again, their defense, Australia's defense, is just caught too far upfield. They've got to collapse on the crease and make sure no one is close to shoot.
Evans is a one-man highlight film. 4 goals already, and this is only the first quarter.
It's only 16 for the game if he keeps this up.
Now we're doing a linear projection on this.
Here it
game.
is. We have one-on-one. He's got plenty of time. He faked a little bit, forced the goaltender to move, and just put the ball in. But again, where is the Australian defense? They've got to collapse onto the crease on fast break situations.
They look to be very aggressive and almost too aggressive.
Yeah.
We've talked about it. They are really collapsing on the ball, but the good stick work of the United States just doesn't allow that to be an effective defense. They better start covering the backside.
It lets them find the open man. That's what's happening. The U.S. is finding that open man every time.
Spreadborough working on the left side, double teamed. Now they got it on the crease. Oh, the shot was there, but they missed the 6x6.
But a nice play. Very
Beautifully
nicely set up.
They had that play exactly where they wanted it. 2 passes, the slide by the U.S., and here he is wide open on the crease.
You know, as they get better, I suppose their shooting will get better, but that's still a tough pass to catch and turn and throw in the goal in one motion.
Definitely
tough.
looked like he was anticipating the old roundhouse hit that you like to see. The old pancake. And he shot before he really turned to get in any kind of position to shoot.
A friend of mine, Tony Patillo, always says, put him in the house of pain when you get the opportunity.
It's a 6-on-5. There was a penalty on that play, so in the box for the United States is 47 Rick Beardsley. Now Australia will get their extra man going. 6 seconds left. They just want to hold it, I guess, and they'll have possession as the second quarter starts. And that's exactly what they'll do. The clock winds down. Aaron Stammers holds on to it. Possession in a power play situation will start quarter number 2. After 1, though, it's the United States 9, Australia 3. We're back at the Hofstra, watching the United States play the team from Australia. And here's your first quarter summary and the gold medal round.
If you look, it might not be surprising. The first 6 names you see are American names, 7 goals actually. Then you look and you see Australia starts to get on the board a little bit, and the play started to shift a little bit. The real key, however, is they've got to control the face-offs, Australia, if they think they're going to get back in the game.
They start the second quarter with a power play, 6-on-5. They're running a basic 3-3 and variations out of that, but they don't get a shot. They don't even test the goalie, Jay Stalford. The ball goes down to the United States. Here's Higgins again. Boy, is he active with that stick.
Todd was the 2-time Defensive Player of the Year in Nassau County, which is a big, big area of lacrosse in the United States. So he's really a real fine ball player.
Kevin Jacobs trying to get out of the reach of his defenseman, Simon Barwell. Barwell gets help. Ball down on the carpet now. They're trying to push it out of bounds. Finally, Australia, with their active defense, gets it back. Well, there's one time, where their aggressive defense paid off for them. Thrown out of bounds by Damian Bushcombe. Carl, things are looking pretty good for the U.S. How's it sound down there?
Well, Leaf, Dr. Graham Ross, after the first quarter, said that he thinks that they're playing their way back into it, meaning the Australians. He said we have to steady the ball so we can score. He wants position on offense, which is keep the ball moving. He said, yes, the USA did have some garbage goals, but admittedly, he said they had some great goals as well.
All right, well, garbage wasn't a word I put in that first quarter, but it looked to me like a lot of that was going on. A lot of shots in the face of this goalie, number 11, Scott Garnsworthy. They really don't care to protect him very much, Bob.
Well, I think they've been so conscious of the people with the ball, they're quick to double and they forget about the man off the ball, and the U.S. players are finding that man, and they're getting one-on-ones on the goalie.
U.S. now cutting down the middle. Great shot right in front. And there it is, David Signor from West Genesee High School, going to Herkimer Community College. And he puts the U.S. up 10-3.
And it's another excellent example. There were 5 Australians kind of standing around off the ball, and this man cut down to the goal. Signor cut down to the goal and was wide open.
Signor's second goal of the game. The United States really with the motion and the stick work.
Yeah, there's that long feed. See the 3 Australian players just standing there. They really were relaxed because they were off the ball, and bang, catches the ball and scores.
Set for the next face-off, Terry Sparks, number 16 for Australia. Or change that. That's Matt Schomburg, the number 1 face-off guy, number 26 for the Australians. And he'll be facing off right there against number 2, Tony Nugent. Australia finally getting possession, but ragged consistently by Higgins. Matt Schomburg stays on the field, the long sticks player. Damian Bushcombe comes off the field, and now they balance up with number 19, Jason Davenport. This is Davenport. They've got great sticks, Bob. They really are not getting any kind of motion going on the offense.
That's really important thing. There's a very nice save by Stalford on a one-on-one. They're getting some opportunities, but not enough right now.
Nice outlet for the U.S. as they attack down to their offensive end. Everybody wants to be in the offensive show, even the defensemen. Triple team here. This is typical of what we've seen. The defense for Australia, double, triple, quadruple teaming the ball. And then the United States somehow just like unloads it out to the perimeter, and they usually get a good shot off it.
Well, these are, first of all, these are the best players we have that are under 19 years old, and they're going to find that open man if you give them the opportunity. That's just what they're doing now.
Australia moving the ball up. Terry Sparks along sticks Minnie looking for help. Finds it over with number 3, David Whiteman, who's a co-captain.
Go, dude!
His midfield mate, Damian Orr, now circles behind. Great check, well placed. And that's the secret of the defense. Signor just lays the stick in there.
We've got the American defense spread out pretty wide, but they've got nobody on the crease to help out.
Australia working the ball in. Beardsley commits himself and gets wide open for the attack. Beardsley really too hard, really overplaying the offensive player, and Australia gets another score out of Mark Mangan. 3 for him, a hat trick for Mangan. Score now 10-4.
Well, Mangan's really been their only offensive light, but most of them are their individual efforts. They're not really team efforts, and Australia's going to play team efforts. When we see it, you'll see him come down. Again, when you look at Beardsley, he's just a little bit behind the guy, overplays him, and a real good dodge on the double, and he just puts the ball in low. But Rick Beardsley's really overplaying in both sides. He's just got to play him even up and don't let him dodge.
Chad Smith came in there to help, number 34. He also going to Syracuse from out of Baldwin High School. And he didn't go body on body, and that's what the coach would be saying because he missed everything. Here comes Australia with another chance to score, bouncing it wide. What a chance that would have been. The score now 10-4. That would have made it 5. Matt Johnson just absolutely missed the 6x6.
Good shot, though. He shot away from the goalie stick low. I mean, that's the kind of shot you want to take.
And they maintain possession. And work it out front. Matt Cahill. David Spreadborough against Ryan Wade. Ryan Wade, so strong. They double up on him. Spreadborough still wide open. Look at that shot coming in. Had the right hand. Everything was just right for him. Another good save by Stauffer. The Australian team, Bob, seems to be getting a little more motion inside,
well,
which helps to confuse the defense, the great defense of the U.S.
Again, he's made a couple. Stauffer's made a couple of very fine saves. Comes down, but the U.S. defense is getting a little bit lazy. Watch him go over the head a lot of times. So just very good save. Away from the stick side, excellent save.
Stauffer comes up big there, and here's the United States on their offensive end, right out in front. And we've seen a lot of that out of Garnsworthy. He's been very active. 8 saves for Garnsworthy.
There's also, it's got to be a little bit of a natural letdown for the USA team scoring 10 goals this quick.
Timeout by the United States team. They lead 10-4. We've got 16:57 left in quarter number 2. Commanding lead for the U.S., but a lot of time left. And Australia has the firepower to get back in it. We'll be back to Hofstra Stadium with more of the Under-19 World Lacrosse Championships. Sound action from Hofstra Stadium on Hofstra University campus, Hampstead, New York, right outside of New York City on Long Island. Look at the United States coming right down the pike. We've seen so much of that, Bob. Nobody wants to lay him out.
It's like they're a little bit tentative. They're looking for someone else to do the job. Not playing good team defense at all.
Great trainer number 16 just came walking down right through the crease area. Unbelievable in any form of lacrosse. Somebody doesn't go in there and just put a shoulder into him.
I think you're starting to sound like me now.
I'm getting tough. So now we've got an even situation with the United States spreading things out. Trying to isolate some of their great talent. They take a shot from up front, left-hander.
That's really not the good shot to take. They better watch out. They start doing this individual stuff. Australia's going to creep up on them.
That's the kind of stuff that, you talk about Beardsley holding the ball too much. It sort of permeates in the team. Well, I'm going to get my shot. I want my shots. I'm going to hold the ball. Whoa. Great save again by Garnsworthy. Has he been tested? If his defense helps him out at all, this guy is tremendous in the goal.
Garnsworthy and the pass, that behind-the-back pass was something very, very impressive.
Chris Johns on the attack, number 12, and a new face.
Here we see that behind, beautiful pass, and he's got the shot, but again, don't take that sidearm stuff. I hate that sidearm stuff. Overhand bounce shot is what you want right there. And there the Australians are starting to get a little tougher on defense.
And now the ball will be put back in play by number 12, and that's Chris Johns from Yorktown Heights.
They're 5-on-5 now.
2 men in the penalty box. Number 9 for the United States in the box. And that is Colby. And number 22 for Australia. And that would be Keir Jarvis. They'll face off for possession with the clock down to about 15 minutes in quarter number 2. Playing for the gold medal. The United States comes in 5-0. Australia 4-1. They only lost to the U.S. 14-9 game. The first game of this round robin tournament before this championship. It was in terrible weather conditions. Trainer getting ragged by the defense of Matt Roberts.
And Matt's just got to be patient with him. Don't let him beat him. That's really the key. Good patience.
United States working the ball around very effectively. Inside, he does, and another fantastic save. Continue to get the ball into the crease. Garnsworthy comes up huge. It's a critical time, Bob. I think 6-0 lead. You don't want it 7 or 8. It really starts getting ugly. But if you go the other direction, you're in 4 and you're in the ball game.
Right, and the Australians have really almost got a little bit of momentum built up. I think they've scored maybe 3 out of the last 4 goals.
Brian Wade comes in. Ball is saved by Garnsworthy, and now out of bounds. And he gets possession.
You know, it was great. The defenseman's last-second check right then really helped him.
I'll tell you what's really tough in this field. The lines for lacrosse are yellow. On the back line, there's a huge 3-yard yellow stripe in the Hofstra color. Right in the middle there somewhere is the out-of-battle line for lacrosse. It's impossible to see. Flag thrown. It'll be against the United States. Another flag thrown. Australia will get a shot plus a penalty. Let's see if they can take advantage of it.
They've got to go towards the goal.
They're getting double teamed by the U.S., which is a smart play. Out of bounds. Play will stop. They'll have a power play situation. They're down by 6. But they'll have a chance to make that a little bit tighter with 13:10 left in quarter number 2. I tell you, in the international play, the referees on the sideline get more activity than the ones on the field.
Well, the real problem with people say, why don't we play international rules here? The problem is you need 6 officials to operate it efficiently. You need probably a minimum of 8 ball boys. And for the average team, especially at the high school level, that's just too many officials and too many ball boys. So many people you need to run.
Absolutely. All comes out of the same budget, right? And with budget crunches the way they are these days. Australia puts the ball in play. They'll be working now with a 2-man advantage. 2 players off the field because of a penalty. One of them is Kevin Jacobs. The other one is Gene Curran. The United States just pretty much trying to keep the shots outside. Australia working it up top. All the way across. What a forced shot that was. Shooter. Australia basically just gave the ball back to the U.S.
Again, they get frustrated. The easiest thing in the world to cover a 3-on-3 is to keep everybody out front, never cut a man behind the goal, and they never did. So they tried to force the ball to that corner, and it was intercepted the way it should have been intercepted. Got to play a man behind.
When you skip a man like that, you're throwing it right through the 4 guys. There's only 4 guys that are packed tightly inside. You've got a 6-on-4.
You're trying to get it down to that far lower corner. It should be almost impossible against a good defense. You've got to put a man behind. I'm sorry, but you have to do it. Get something going offensively.
It's hard for a box when you're 2 men down to force the corners and play the perimeter. So if you work the perimeter hard, you're going to get your shots.
Right. You even have the man behind just to swing the ball to the other side, so you have to go through those sticks.
Game's all even. Beautiful move from the backside. And a little bit of tempers flying there. Tony Nugent did it all himself. Tony Nugent out of Baltimore. And what a tremendous play for him to give the United States an 11-4 lead. Out of Calvert Hall going to the University of Virginia.
Well, when you look at the play, too, the Australian player just got a little bit too anxious to play him. There is a short stick. He goes behind the goal with him. Good job, but the stick is on the wrong side. And then look at that, just totally out of control.
Five minutes left, second quarter. Slash called on number 32 on the defensive end. That's Joe Wilson. Joe Wilson going to the University of Virginia at Howard High School. Georgetown and Columbia, Maryland. Big play here for Australia. They really need to dent this thing. They've got 7 goals down. We're closing out the first half in about 4 minutes. See if they can get a good shot.
Balls, they're just not moving fast enough. They're switching people around. They're catching it, cradling it for a few seconds. They've got to move the ball quicker.
Of course, the switching of people doesn't do much to baffle the defense. You got to cut the people through. You've got to really sag in that defense, cave it in, make them worried about it, cut her through the crease.
Yeah, you've got to sprint on your cuts.
Higgins again, showing that magic wand. Here he is, off to the wings. And all the way upfield is Mark Allen. Mark Allen coming in, protecting the stick. He's got the left-handed shot. He wants it. There's the rocket. Gardsworthy saves once. And that'll be a penalty against an Australian player. Ball was down. 3:50.
You know, it looked like Gardsworthy almost flinched on that last shot. I mean, that was a rocket taken about 10 feet away from him.
Totally unprotected, Bob, right? And here he is, I mean, you know, 6 yards away.
Right.
I don't care what he's wearing underneath his clothes. He has got to be worried about the velocity of that shot. 3:34 left.
And they have the ability to wind up. It's not like a quick stick. It's the guys winding up, looking you right in the eyes.
So the fortunes are turned here. The Australian team had an extra man moments ago. Now they are a man down. Still 7 goals down. Here comes the U.S. Bounces off the defensive stick. Good play there by Damian Bushman. The U.S. just continually moves the ball quickly, and it makes it so tough to play defense.
That's really the big difference right now. The U.S. is just moving the ball around, not giving the Australian zone really a chance to adjust.
Simon Barwell knocks it out of bounds. United States again keeping all 6 players in front of the goal. Tried to pass a man, and that's again very difficult to do.
A couple of
Skip a man, go in there, and it was knocked down by Simon Barwell.
A couple of USA players still kind of throwing their hands up. Why are we doing this?
Feeding it in again, the play knocked down by the defensive sticks of Barwell. Here comes the Australian squad.
Not to play. Definitely not to play for this guy.
Australia has it back, looking for a good shot. Damian Bushcombe comes in, dishes it off. A chance out front. They can't get the shot again. Mangan had it behind, and again he gets it back. Mangan gives it to Whiteman. Whiteman, a midfielder now, inverting himself behind the goal. And he'll probably go up high to Stammers. Stammers has it, and that's that unit with Whiteman.
If I was Australia, I might even take my last time out right now to organize my offense and try to get either, at least a good shot off now. Get my biggest offensive players out there.
Ball checked down. The United States closest to it as they get it back to the goalie. Stoutford with a nice move. Plenty of room in front of him. And look how cleanly, I'm sure you can notice, that the United States handles the ball against the Australians. Good left-handed shot, bounces just wide. Tough angle with the lefty at that point.
He might have even nicked the goalie. Garnsworthy hit Garnsworthy. They might have nicked the pipe also.
Trainer on that last shot. We've got a minute left, a little bit over, in the first half. The United States opened up a 7-goal lead, and it's been an even game since then. But that cushion may be enough for the gold medal. Shot in close, beautifully done. The United States widens the margin, 12-4.
It almost goes back, Lee, to the fact that I really would have called a timeout with 1 minute and 30 seconds to go if I was the Australia coach, just to calm everybody down, work out some plays, and say, look, we don't want to be scored on with 38 seconds to go in the game.
You don't want to carry that timeout into the locker room either. When you're behind, you don't want to carry any timeouts into the locker room.
If I was the Australian coach now, get the ball, call a timeout, and organize some play. Here it goes. Good dodge. Goalie's got to step on that ball, but that's an excellent shot.
A goal by Tony DiMarzo from Lakeland High School. He'll be going to the University of Delaware. And the clock continues to run. After that, so we're down to about 14 seconds. Very little time for anybody to shoot. Higgins, a real force, plays that wing on the faceoffs. Under 6 seconds, they'll have to hurry to get a shot off. 2-1, that'll do it.
They're lucky to get a foul on that, the Australian players.
So the United States have things pretty much under control. 12-4 the score, an 8-goal lead at Hofstra Stadium. They're playing for the #1 position, numero uno. This is only the second Junior World Championship, under-19 World Championships for lacrosse. The first one in 1988 in Australia. The United States won that. So things are looking pretty good for the United States. But Australia, a very, very respected team, and a team that is going to be playing hard in the second half. Carl, what kind of light can you shed on that second half?
Well, we're going to find out, Lee, from Dr. Graham Ross, the coach of Australia, not the situation, coach, that you want to be in, trailing by this margin in the gold medal game.
Certainly not the situation, but we've been in this situation before. We gave Canada a head start. We came off the Australian national titles where we played against the senior sides there. A couple of senior sides, we gave a start and came back. We've been in this situation before, and all's not lost. We'll come back again.
So you're a second half team. What are you going to try and correct at halftime? Because they are a powerful team, the U.S.
It's just a matter of lifting our overall game around the field, lifting our riding, lifting our aggression at the ball, and steadying the ball down in offense.
All right, Coach, good luck in that second half. Thanks for coming by. All right, Dr. Graham Ross, the coach of the Australian team. Let's go back upstairs to Leif and Bob.
Thank you very much, Carl. We're going to take a short break. There's your score, an 8-goal lead, and it all came in the first 7 scores. It was a 7-0 blast of offense in the first quarter. It gave them that cushion. The Australian team, while they've made some comebacks, we'll see if they've got one in store for us as we come toward the second half. But first, we've got a couple features for you, including a look at the Japanese team, the talk of the international lacrosse world.
With deep roots of lacrosse in the United States, the addition of a new exciting and exhilarating team of Japan has added a great deal to the international sport of lacrosse. And with me today, right now, we have Mr. Hayakawa, the general manager of the Japanese lacrosse team. Mr. Hayakawa, how many years has lacrosse been a sport in Japan?
1986年からですから、今年で6年目になります。
Started from 1986, which is like 60 years in Japan.
In that very short time, those past 6 years, the sport has grown tremendously. The players have progressed at a tremendous rate, and the play has been very competitive, as we have seen in this tournament. How would you explain that tremendous spurt of lacrosse in Japan?
強くなった理由というのは、アメリカやオーストラリアからチームを呼んで一緒に試合をしたりコーチングをしてもらったりして、でそういうことがやっぱりプレイヤーの技術の向上のものすごい一番の理由になっていると思います。
We invited teams from Australia and United States and played games against each other, and they had a clinic for the Japanese teams, which really was
a help to the growth in Japan. Do you think that this tournament will be a boost to attracting even more youth and more interest in the sport of lacrosse in Japan?
これが世界大会に参加するのは日本がこれが一番最初だったんですけども、選手も全然レベルの違うことを全然もうみんな感じてまして、それがすごいいい勉強になっていると思うんで、これから彼らよりも若い人たちにこういう経験を生かしてコーチングしていくようなことがあれば、すごく強くなっていくと思います。
This is the first time that this All Japan team has participated in the international games, and we hope that the players that attended this games will go back to Japan and coach the younger generation, which will help the growth and the improvement of the skills from lacrosse in Japan.
At what age are now children beginning to play the game of lacrosse in Japan?
だいたい18歳ぐらい。
About 18 years old.
Okay. Do they play it in school, or do they play with club teams? What is the primary way in which most children are now playing the game?
In the school. 大学で始めます。
In the university and college.
Okay. And so as we have seen now, with the play of the Japanese, there has been a tremendous influx of interest in the sport. And I'm sure that the growth of Japan will certainly be aided with the excitement of this new team.
Well, thank you, Kerry. Japan, the talk of the international world in the field of lacrosse. We'll be back with more of our Under-19 World Championships from Hofstra. Set for the start of the third quarter. Technical foul gives possession to the United States. We're moments into quarter number 3, and they have a 12-4 lead. What could Australia possibly talk about in the locker room, Bob?
Well, they've got to improve their shot ratio. In the first half, the United States took 31 shots. Australia took 14 shots.
There was some good contact by Matt Windsor, the co-captain playing defense, number 20. They're checking much more furiously around that crease area. Maybe that's one of the things they're trying to correct. A lot of those shots against goalie Gunsworthy were right in front of him.
Well, that time, I noticed they were not as quick to double. They're probably saying, look, you've got to play your man even up. You're not going to get the help you got the first half because they picked us apart finding the open man.
So after the United States wins the opening faceoff in the second half, Australia gets it back.
The other telling statistics for the first half is the United States won 12 of the 19 faceoffs that were done. Australia's got to improve that if they want to have a real chance in this game. The one good thing is they're used to coming back. They were down 7-3 to the Canadians and came back.
David Whiteman from the outside. That was a one heck of a shot. It was almost two heck of a shot.
Whiteman just powered himself down the sideline and straight overhand to the goalie stick side. And a lot of times, goalies, especially at the beginning of the second half, when you're up by a lot of goals, you're a little bit more relaxed than you might think. Here it comes. You see him just power himself down. He shoots overhand, right overhand, and he shoots high to the goalie stick side. I don't think Stauffer was really ready for that shot.
Dan Sheehan tripped a little bit, giving him a little bit more room to take that shot, but absolutely right. I would give Stallworth a lot of reasons to be a little bit comfortable. He's got a big lead. They had a halftime where they sort of were thinking about that nice lead, and Australia really not much more time. They've got to start making a nice slow climb back out of the hole they've dug for themselves.
And it starts right here with winning the faceoffs. Scoop that ball.
U.S. wins another one. And they move the ball very quickly as they have all game long. Aggressive defense again.
Rookie mistake there when I scoop the ball. Defense has got to take the ball himself. He can't try to rake it to an attacker.
Windsor, number 20, is very active with the stick. Now the ball's on the offside for him. U.S. gets a wide open man coming down. That was Chris Johns. You can see that was a triple team by the Australians. And if Johns could have put his head up, he probably would have had 2 or 3 open guys.
And what I don't like is the fact that we're starting to see a little more of that behind the back stuff, which is a lot more inaccurate than regular shots.
Great aggressive defense by the Australians. Matt Johnston back there contesting. They're contesting everybody with the ball. And I got to believe you're right, Bob, about not sliding as much. And I think that kind of defense is really going to pay dividends for them.
It should. They're trying to, they're isolating. The U.S. is isolating. The U.S. is isolating short stick on short stick behind the goal, just challenging. That's what happened there.
Just when I said that, Matt Johnston sort of gets overplays a little bit, a little too aggressive, and the United States gets an open shot. And DiMarzo comes in and gets the second goal of the game. Score now 13-5. Tony DiMarzo.
Again, a little bit of isolation behind the goal. You've got to go one-on-one and play good hard defense. There it is. The Australian defender played a man a little too aggressively, too far from the goal. The goalie's got to tell him to get in and force him back behind the goal.
Defense for the United States packed it in beautifully.
And that's really the big difference. The defense for the United States will get in very quickly tight to the crease. The Australians were not doing that in the first half, and they really got caught upfield several times for easy U.S. goals.
Offside call on the Australian team, and here you go. The United States gets it back, and just like that, they beat Garnsworthy for goal number 14.
That's the example we're just talking about, Leaf. The Australian defense got caught upfield.
Second goal for Jacobs.
Jacobs was just camped on the side of the crease. The Australian defense was caught upfield again. You see 25 coming down, but he should have been there before the ball got there.
Face off now after that score with 15 minutes left. There's Kevin Jacobs. The face off for Australia, Greg Moore. The ball goes over to the wing and picked up by Curran. Nugent played defensively by David Spreadborough. Got plenty of room. Look at that. Juke moving to the left hand. He'll pull back for the right-handed shot. No. Behind the goal.
Yeah, that was good defense. Though. The guy came back left, and the Australian man just kept pushing him to the rear of the goal because he had no angle. Nice play. Nice defensive play. Was in control. That's the key. Being in control.
That ball was loose. Garnsworthy made another success. wouldn't believe it with the score 14-5, but he has played well.
We had 14 saves the first half versus 6 to start, but mostly his saves were sensational, right off the crease.
And add up the scores and then the saves, and that's a lot of offense. His defense isn't helping him very much. A lot of offense by the U.S. Crowd wanting a penalty there. Kevin Jacobs, number 15.
Let's say I think he's
here a hold
it's
call.
a hold 36, but I think he really stole that penalty. Exaggerated his arm movement so and got the call.
Keir Jarvis in the penalty box for Australia. That means the United States will be up 6-on-5. This is not an extra man team you want to face very often. The United States has David Evans parked on the crease, number 10, right in front of the goal. Nugent with a rocket shot from the right side, and that beats Garnsworthy for goal number 15. A 10-goal lead for the U.S. Second goal for Nugent, and that is 3 straight goals for the United States in the third quarter after Whiteman opened up the third quarter with a dramatic goal for Australia. Things looked pretty good. They may have righted themselves, but the United States answers with 3.
Now, if you watch it, you'll see them take every step they can. Look at how he takes 3 or 4 steps in, and here comes Nugent. He'll take 4 or 5 steps in, and bang. He'll actually use the Australian player as a screen.
Higgins again on the face-off, long stick player on the wing, and again 2 or 3 passes, and they are putting pressure on Garnsworthy. They do it so beautifully. Another penalty called.
In the rear for 6 green.
Man coming now. We're playing a swing. It's a swing. Show me move out. Show me move out.
12 minutes left, quarter number 3, and the cutting player for the U.S., David Evans, out of Baltimore, went to Loyola High School. He's going to Brown. He made it look easy. 4 different players have scored 4 different goals. 5 for Evans. He is really having a day. He had 4 in the first quarter, so he was shut out in quarter number 2.
I don't feel too bad for him, though.
No, he probably didn't even play.
Look at the play where he cuts down to the crease. The creaseman doesn't go with him, and he shoots backhand coming by. It's almost impossible for the goalie to make a save on that.
It's turning into a rout, 16-5 in the third quarter. Clock winding down as Australia now keeps their control on their end. They like to work the goalie's left. Seems to be a consistent strength of their offense. Cutter coming in, couldn't handle it. Number 19, Jason Davenport. The U.S. off and running. Dan Sheehan. Right back to the defensive player, and what a beautiful play.
Again, the Australian defense is caught upfield.
Joe Wilson came down, and that's a trademark of the great sticks on defense. Wilson didn't turn back to go back to the defensive end. Wilson gave up the ball, kept coming down. The attack gives it back to him. He makes 1 feed, and Jacobs gets his 3rd goal of the day.
Well, that's the real defensive philosophy the last couple of years. Is the coach who kind of cringe a little bit. They come down. Here we go. We're driving down from the fast break. The Australians don't get in tight enough. The ball is thrown to the defenseman, and there he is wide open yet again on the crease. Pack it in. If you're Australia, pack it in the crease and give him the outside shot. Don't let him shoot from the crease like that.
17-5 the score now, and Australia, as talented as they are, have to be wondering if maybe all the shrouds of secrecy, the overtraining is a little bit of overkill. Sometimes you just have to let the boys play. Throw them out on the field, let them roll.
As I said, there are a few just key things. Pack it in and let Garnsworthy make the saves from the outside.
When Garnsworthy has had a decent chance to make a save, he usually comes up with it. Working the ball behind. This is David Marr. Marr still with the ball. Defended by Simon Farwell. Get it inside, over the goal. Ball movement crisp. Jacobs now. All the way across. This will be tough. Ding it off the pipe. Beautiful shot by the U.S. players. It was Mike Booza. He'll be going to Penn State. And the big defense. Beardsley now brings it down. He throws it over to the wing to David Evans. And Evans, looking away to see where he'll make the feed, loses his contact with the ball. 8:27 left in the third period, a period that has been dominated in the last 5 goals by the United States. The Australian team scored first. Whiteman scored to start the second half. 5 straight. 4 different players.
Australian defense is really indicating that they have to work harder on getting the defensemen ready to play in a game like this.
What about the playing styles of these two teams? For instance, we know the United States plays a lot. The Australian players at this level, are they getting as much play? Are there high school programs?
That's the biggest difference. Virtually every player out here has played sports in organized lacrosse since they were 7 or 8 years old if they want to make a team like this. And the Australians really start playing in high school. Then when they do play in high school, it's a club situation where they might practice 2 or 3 times a week and have 1 or 2 games a week. USA players that start in the 7th and 8th grade, play 6 days a week during a season, play in the summer league, go to camps. They've probably got 100 extra games under their belt versus the Australians. And that makes all the difference in the world in a game like this, especially for defensemen with that long stick. So I think defense is much more coached versus something you just kind of do, the flow of the game itself.
Each team has its own unique problems. Japan, for instance, as we watch the United States move it down for yet another shot. Beautiful timing on that pickoff by Australian Matt Cahill.
I'll tell you, though, the Japanese are sending their players here to America to go to camps. They had 60 at the Rutgers camp. I know they have a lot at the Johns Hopkins camps. And I almost think that most of the other international teams have to do things like that in order to really think to compete long term.
David Spreadborough is now in the box for Australia, so it'll be another extra man play for the U.S. They are leading by 12. Ooh. And here it is, more pressure for the goalie of Australia. And that goal goes in, finds its way, number 3, David Marr. Yet another goal for Marr. He came in as one of the heroes. That's only his second today, but this guy came in as a focal point of the offense of the United States. The point I was going to make, Bob, is that Japan, for instance, if you read about them at all, you know that the space is really a premium commodity over there. So if you want to play golf, you've got to do it off a rooftop or something like that. The kids there aren't finishers. They come here ready to play lacrosse, probably as well as you could expect from the program, as old as it is. But yet, one of the big things is they don't know how to shoot as well because they don't have goals. They don't even care if they have goals. They are so used to practicing without that much space. So they don't have the luxury of having even enough field in many cases to shoot on goals.
But they're real technically, they learn, listening to the goalies, they spoke no English really, but they all knew that the goaltenders knew the terms to be a goalie. So they're working real hard to get their technical skills down.
5:25 left in the third quarter. The score 18-5. And here comes the defensive long stick for the United States. And that is Michael Iorio. Playing at Notre Dame, hometown Chester, New Jersey, and high school West Morris Manhattan High School. Long sticks definitely making themselves the big force here in the U19 World Championships. Timeout called by Australia, 19-5 the score. And with under 5 minutes left in the third quarter, the United States firmly in command. We'll take a short break. We're back at Hofstra Stadium, and the rout continues, 19-5. There's no way to disguise this one, is there, Bob Roll?
No, unfortunately it's not. It's just again, you look at it as a positive experience for the Australians. They come here, they'll know what they have to do in order to win the next time.
Ryan Wade playing defense and does a great job against Whiteman, knocking the ball out, but they get possession back. New goalie in there for the United States, and that'll be number 1, Tim McGeaney. Number 1, Tim McGeaney in the nets. And it looks like on the Australian end, it's still Scott Garnsworthy, number 11. So McGeaney playing in the nets. His brother George McGeaney here watching him. Guy that really was a force in the defensive end of the field for many years. Lacrosse field. Higgins now scoops it up, and here they go. Long sticks off to the races. Australia doing a good job of just knocking it out. Stammers trying to keep that fast break from happening. Stammers gets it back. The effort pays off all the way over to Mr. Gold himself, Mark Mangan.
Mark really should have bounced the ball then, hit the pipe high, but
he had a lot to shoot at. And it hasn't happened that often in this game. He was probably a little bit shocked by it. Sun peeking out once in a while from behind the clouds, and you can see the shadows now. There's a good shot in close, and David Whiteman, tell you what, he can play on anybody's team.
David Whiteman, nice cut real quick. He beat Todd Higgins too, and Todd's no slouch as a defensive midfielder.
Third goal of the day for him. Whiteman, I'll put him on my all-tournament team. He is a tough player. Co-captain from Western Australia. 3 goals for him. Opened up the second half with a goal.
See, Mangan has the other 3. These 2 guys have 3 goals. You'll see him now. Looks, coming down, and just a good cut to the crease, and he clearly beat Todd Higgins going down.
Nothing more traditional or simple than that.
Right.
Off the ball, cut hard.
He caught it too, and he shot overhand down, which is the toughest shot to stop for a goaltender.
Score now 19-6 with 2:48 left in quarter number 3. Australia having a tough time getting it past the United States, but now they finally do get it from their offensive end. This is Aaron Stammers. Once your offensive players get that intense pressure from the long sticks, it's tough for them to get into their game, Bob.
Very different. There's Whiteman just scored another goal off a cut towards the crease.
Well, he's solidifying his chances for that all-tournament team. He is a tremendous, I don't even know if there is one, but he's on ours, that's for sure.
I think there is. I think there's an all-star roster going right now where coaches are picking.
1:54 left, and Whiteman has been the offense for Australia in the third quarter. Working very hard off the ball. He's getting himself in for good targets for his offense.
We see this, a good feed again. He just simply beats Todd Higgins going down and catches the ball and scores. That's the key. Movement off the ball has been the difference between the Australians generally and the United States team. The United States team moves hard off the ball. They're getting openings all over the place, and the Australians tend to stand around and let the man go one-on-one and really watches it.
Scrum in the middle of the field for possession. Higgins there for the United States trying to get it. Australian players, he thinks about Higgins being there. It's Johnson who pushes it down. He finally gets possession. Looks for help, and now they're going to put some pressure on goalie Garnsworthy again. About a minute left. Quarter number 3. 19-7. Shot into the chest of Garnsworthy.
And yet another shot point blank off the crease. I mean, it's had a tremendous game. It could be 30. It could be 30-7 right now.
You can see that if a lot of these kids have the experience you talked about, just the day-to-day, the hours. If they had strictly the hours put into the game, they'd be exceptional players. They are great players now, but it's just they lack just the hours that the U.S. needs to put into the game.
I'll emphasize, particularly defensively, that's what you really need the real practice. And offense, I think, is a little more natural, a little more instinctive than defense is.
25 seconds left. Third quarter now. We've got 1 more to go. 19-7.
Fred Whiteman just missed a feed. He was wide open going down. It could have been number 5 for him.
His first left-handed cut, I think.
Good for him.
Australia moving in, getting a shot. He was hammered when it was 6 seconds left. There'll be an extra man. Let's see what happens with the ball on the carpet. Clock winding down. And it's out. Does that mean it's a face-off for quarter number 4?
I think that they face off. They don't have the same rule that we have in terms of giving it to the team that's upper man.
Well, we'll see. No time left in this quarter. 19-7, the U.S. in command. We'll be back to Hofstra for the final quarter of action. The Under-19 World Lacrosse Championships between the United States and Australia. As we move into this extra man.
We saw they cooled off just a little bit. Okay, they cooled off just a little bit, but again, the United States dominated the scoring and didn't let Australia back in the ballgame. The bright spot was Whiteman, who I believe had 3 goals that quarter.
He was definitely taking the leadership role as co-captain. That's what he is. Now here they are with the next man. Working from behind, cutting out front. Sort of a 1-3-2 configuration.
You can see that they take that one little step, that little hesitation that the United States team doesn't have in terms of moving the ball around, which allows the defensive zone to slide.
Aaron Stafford works it behind, and then they get it out front. Chris Weiss gets the ball checked out of his stick and pushed offsides by Terry Sparks, I believe would be the call. Push. Wow, they're giving it, yeah, pushed by Sparks. Now here we are back to our third quarter summary.
See, Whiteman had the goal for the Australians at minute 29, but it was all USA after that to go along, and Whiteman had the last 2 goals, of course, so he did have the 3.
Excellent quarter for him. But personal bests, now is not what they're looking for right about now. 19-7 the score. A whole quarter left of running time, 25-minute running time quarters, international play. Look at the defense of Australia. Matt Windsor, the other co-captain. Those 2 guys have done a great job. They deserve a co-captain status because they're leading on both ends of the field. Rocket shot from the outside. Goodbye, Kevin Jacobs. As the shadows start getting longer here, the score does too.
It's just the overall quickness of the United States team. If you look at the team, depth, speed, quickness, experience are really overwhelming the Australians right now. Here we go. You see a good feed. I mean, a great look. Gets the ball behind, and there's that feed out front. Good end zone shot, and what a perfect shot. Left side away from the goalie's stick. Hit a little bit of a shot above his shoulder.
New goalie coming in for Australia, Dale Clayton now getting some time. Number 1, Dale Clayton into the goal for Australia.
Should give Garnsworthy combat pay.
Yeah, Garnsworthy certainly gets a Purple Heart for that.
Purple Heart and combat pay for Garnsworthy today.
Well, his sideline, as I look down there, giving him a lot of congratulations, a lot of hand slaps. So he knows he had a good game. He indicated. 18 saves on the day for Garnsworthy.
I think that was Todd Higgins trying to get his defenseman's dream, trying to get a score goal.
Stats up a little bit. Most defensemen think about it. I think Higgins and Beardsley, they look for double figures in scoring. United States controlling. This game is theirs. Unless something dramatic happens.
Some players declared ineligible.
Well, in this Olympic year, this competition is well placed. There's a lot of enthusiasm for the inter-country competition.
They're hoping someday that lacrosse will be an Olympic sport, at least to start off as a exhibition sport. They're trying real hard, and the entrance of Czechoslovakia should help that.
Czechoslovakia just voted by the International Lacrosse Federation. Taking successive shots and finally beating the new goalie for the United States, Tim McGeaney. So he lets up his first goal. McGeaney going to Loyola, or playing at Loyola already. Played at North County High School, and hometown Linthicum listed there.
A very nice fast break, though. I mean, it was picture perfect, good and aggressive. See him taking the ball down. McGeaney, he almost deserves it. He took the ball most of the way downfield. He feeds it off, and look how he gets up in that second effort, and it gives him the goal.
Greg Moore with a fantastic goal. That would make most anybody's highlight reel. So Australia not giving up at all, not quitting at all, 20-8.
again, there's the USA player sneaking in behind the defense. We've seen that 100 times today.
And the ball starts behind the goal now. Right out to the crease and checked there by Terry Sparks. Sparks comes out, chases it, can't quite get it, and this is where they get in trouble. Finally picked up by Australia. And look at the wheels here from the defense. Simon Barwell came down with great speed. Now he'll go back and trade places with an offensive player. That's Whiteman. Whiteman asks for the ball. Now he'll set up with some fresh legs coming in. Damian Orr. And number 5, Michael Burton. Whiteman's got to scare the defense of the U.S. a little bit. This guy is really a tremendous offensive player. Drives down, gets the trailing player behind. Jason Davenport works back out. A lot of space between Whiteman and the rest of the team. Davenport looking for Whiteman. Davenport tries to force it to the crease, possibly for Whiteman, goes back outside. Burton wings it around, finally to Aaron Stammers. Stammers got some room and checked at the last minute out of his stick. Number 44, Mark Allen. Great play by Australia. Let's see if they give it to him. They do. Tremendous play by Aaron Stammers. Stammers showing that he has no quit in him either. And tremendous play. Last 2 goals, Bob. Well, opportunistic, just sticking with the game and getting the second shot.
Yeah, I gotta think the Australians say, hey, let's have fun. There's 20 minutes to go. We're down by 10 goals. Let's do a personal best. He's hurt a little bit, though. Looks like maybe a sprained ankle.
Number 18, Aaron Stammers, as they take a timeout with him. Let's take a short break. We'll be back with more from Hofstra. We're into the 4th quarter, and the United States leads 20-9. Getting ready, and they score 20-9. 11 goals need to be made up if Australia wants to have a chance to tie this one. Everybody knows that's pretty much mathematically impossible. This game really, particularly the first, which you can't do, but the first 7 goals, the United States came out ready to play, put Australia in the hole very quickly.
And I think Australia was really kind of forced to double the ball and do things they really didn't want to do. A little shell shock, though, I think, Garnsworthy. 18 saves today, and they were good saves. I don't think there was an easy save amongst all of them.
Yeah, he had a great game. I mean, that's weird to say when a guy allows, what, 16, 17 goals or something?
Yeah.
Australia now with the ball as they get set to try to add to their 9 goals. Ball slips out behind the stick of Jason Davenport, and the United States will get it now. Beardsley will start it up. He's playing at Syracuse University, known for tremendous defensemen. All the great teams are, but Syracuse has had a good string going over the last 10 years. Beardsley clearing up, baiting the trailing player. Never know where he's going to pass it. Watch behind. He takes that. Look at that. He wants to shoot. Save in tight by the Australian goalie, Dale Clayton.
There's a term for Beardsley, glamorous, hot dog a little bit, maybe. Baiting a guy.
Well, we could go on and on, couldn't we?
Yes,
He's a great talent. He's a great talent kid. It's tough to put the bridle on him. I mean, he just didn't want to stop.
Yes, he is. But when you bait a player, when you run upfield, you head by 11 goals, I don't know. That's a little much for me.
Right. Probably a little much for Roy Simmons, who's watching this saying, there's my guy. Got to put the bridle on him again this year. Brian Wade playing in North Carolina. Brings the ball up and gives it to his captain. Back out to Wade. The guy that has the left-handed shot that most players envy. Dish off beautifully, and that one beats the goalie. A shot from out front. Crowd appreciative of Roy Colsey's shot. Another Syracuse great player. The check a little bit late. Colsey gets a goal for the United States to make it 21-9.
Again, I think it really illustrates the fact that Australia is a step or 2 behind playing team defense, which is the toughest thing of all the things to teach in lacrosse. And it was a perfect dish off, and Colsey was wide open. And you can't give a guy like Roy Colsey too many shots like that.
Colsey's got, look at this, autograph signed by Garnsworthy, tremendous player, and he's over there signing autographs for some kids in the stands. Colsey came out of high school previously talented, very highly recruited with Beardsley. So that was a good recruiting class for Roy Simmons.
Well, he and Dave Marr also played on the same team at Yorktown and won the state championship.
Australia now trying to clear into their offensive end. Terry Sparks, 16, pushes it up, and they can't quite get it. But picked up by Jason Davenport. Colsey ragging him. Here Jarvis. And back to Whiteman. "15 minutes left." Well, he can count from 9 to 21 in that much time. Australia working behind the goal. Danny Knight, 32. They'll get a free shot if they can get it. Nice save by McGeaney.
You know what I like about that, Leaf? The pass came from behind, and they got a shot off the crease. Not a great shot, but that's what I think they really have to work on.
And a redirected shot there, like you said, didn't have a lot of mustard on it, but you're redirecting it, and the goalie's not quite in position. And an average shot with that kind of setup is usually effective. Extra man play for Australia. They don't waste any time coming in. Whiteman with the cannon from the right side. The U.S. not quite ready and showing some international savvy. Australia just went right to the cooker. Whiteman gives Australia goal number 10. Yeah, USA doing a good job of being the heroes that they should, that they really are. Number 21 is Mike Iorio. Tony Nugent now has the ball, number 2 up front. Curran cutting into the crease area. He's right in front of the goals. They work the ball behind. DeMarzo. Defender falls down. DeMarzo comes in, fakes high, goes low. That's a goal. Slide comes late. Actually, the goalie was down, and the only guy that had a chance to save that ball was number 20, Matthew Windsor, the 3rd goal of the game. Well, for that young talent, DeMarzo.
I like the fact that Windsor would jump in the goal. That was a certain amount of courage for someone with no padding to get into the goal. Goaltender, though, really shouldn't have come out. You'll see the play, very quick to react when the defender fell down, and no slide. Really, what Windsor should have done is he was a slide man coming across the cage. It forced the man to throw the ball to the far side. Okay, really should have done that.
Carl, what's going on down the sideline?
Well, I've got, I don't know, an unhappy Scott Garnsworthy right now?
Yeah, a bit, but, I mean, I did well, I hope.
No, you did very well. How tough is this American team?
They're pretty tough. I mean, if we had played up to our expectations, I reckon we could have given them a good run. But, I don't know, they just popped us the first few minutes of the game and just rolled on from there. That really took the air out of your sails when they scored 7 or 8 quick ones on you? Yeah, that does.
Do you feel that you let the team down maybe, or are they just that powerful because maybe a couple might have gotten by you?
No, I didn't really let the team down, I suppose. But I feel I could have done better. I mean, you always feel you could have done better.
You'd like to start this one all over again, wouldn't you, Scott?
Yeah, certainly would.
We'll be back with more of our Under-19 World Lacrosse Championships in just a moment. As the clock ticks from 6:22. Pressure put on them by the Australians. They want the ball back. They want a few more shots. Jason Foley brought it up and forced into the attack end of the field. Simon Barwell now for Australia. Barwell to Whiteman. Whiteman, what a tremendous game he's had. He's got to make the all-tournament team. Hard shot from McGeaney with a tremendous save. McGeaney from Loyola. Outlets to his teammates. That's Dan Sheehan bringing it up. Sheehan with a big fake. Now he's going to have a shot right-handed. Ooh, no angle. Just hit the pipe. These teams, when they come in here, Bob, obviously extended stays, not just to play. They've got the week of competition, 8 days of competition. They stretch it out a little bit and see some of the sights and make some stops along the way.
Well, what's nice about coming here is, of course, you're close to New York City. You know, I'll tell you, they probably spend more time in New York City walking around the time they're doing that than they do playing in the games.
Don't go to New York City with full equipment on.
That's the attitude of people from outside the city. It's really not that bad. It's a great experience. It's the mixture of the players. Sometimes to see them when they're not playing and they're talking to each other. I think that's the most valuable experience.
Well, it's not like the Olympic experience in the fact that it's a world international competition. They stay in a dorm situation so that they're all together somewhat, and they are sharing a little bit of the cultures of each country.
Well,
Exchanging pins. They all have their own little pin that represents these games for their team.
Well, I have my pins from '74. I can remember that. A lot of nice friends, and when you meet people, they stay friends forever. Graham Lester here, whose son plays for the English team.
David Signor has that goal, and Carl has somebody for us on the sideline. Carl?
Hello, this is Rick Beardsley here, Team USA. I'm here with Carl Reuter, the field man here for Prime Network. Carl, what do you think so far of the game?
Well, Rick, I was going to ask you about your performance defensively, but right now it's the most impressive performance by the United States. To answer your question, what do you think about the gold medal right now?
Well, the gold medal's nice right now, you know. It's going to be a big championship to win, you know. Right now, it's the most important game of my entire career. So.
All right, let's get on a lighter note. Your coach, Bob Hartraft, told me yesterday in practice that when you were born, they broke the mold.
Maybe broke the mold, as in my gut or something like that, but I don't know about. Maybe my head. It's a little big sometimes when I get on the field, you know.
You're very loose. You have a good time with this game, don't you?
Yeah, of course. As you can tell, you know, my beautiful new nose piece that I'm, you know, putting on television.
Speaking about pieces, what do you got right here?
Oh, geez.
Show me that for a second. This is. When did you have this done?
Last year. Got it done. A little Team USA action here. We get above it, you know, world champs. Because we beat those Australians right over there. You can put the camera on them if you'd like.
Speaking about the Australians and the Japanese and everybody else that participated in the tournament, what did you think about the competition on a serious note, Rick?
Competition was all right. I think, you know, I was very impressed with everybody. The Australians are a quality team, no doubt in my mind, you know. We just have, you know, some good athletes. Scoreboard shows, you know. But Australia's very good. The other teams, England was better than I thought. Japan surprised me like you'd not believe, you know. Japan's much better. I thought, you know, they win. The Iroquois nation's young, you know, and you can't help that. A lot of those guys will get a chance to play again. Canada's good. A lot of young guys, you know, so well, they'll be good. Next under 19, hopefully USA takes it again, but I'd like to see the rest of it, you know, some good competition.
Leaf and Bob, you have to know one thing. When he gets done up at Syracuse playing lacrosse for Roy Simmons, I guess you have a career in broadcasting.
I don't know if I can take it after you. We'll be okay.
Let's go back upstairs. Leaf?
All right, Carl. I know that was tough. It's tough competition down there. I was dying to know what the nose was all about. Do you know what that was?
No, I don't know. He must get bonked somewhere along the line. Yeah.
Can't imagine that. A mild-mannered guy like him. All right, meanwhile, back on the field, the score 23-11 and the time down to 2 minutes. Here we go with Australia scoring.
Very nice fake. The man overplayed him. He takes that sidearm shot, but boy, he hit the corner nicely.
Danny Knight, Western Australia, scores with about 2 minutes to go in the game. The United States with a 12-goal lead. 7 of those happened in the first quarter before Australia scored their first goal of the game. So they got themselves comfortable real quick. Look at that behind-the-back pass. This team is full of those. Watch the check from the backside. Good check by the Australian squad. And here's Whiteman, if he can pull it in. Ryan Wade there. And that's Jason Foley, 33, carrying the ball down. Foley going to be checked from behind, and it is again twice. Australia did a tremendous job. That was Spreadborough chasing down the player as he's trying to decide whether to go behind the back, over the head, or between his legs. Australia does a great job of fundamentally just running him down and checking the ball out.
Well, you've seen a lot of razzmatazz from the U.S. right now. They're real loose in doing behind the back things and so on.
1:06 left. Mike Booz attack shot with the left hand. He gets a score. And with under 1 minute, that might be the last score of the game. 24-11.
Well, defenseman falls down, and no one really backs up strong.
Yeah, Bob Hartraft couldn't have asked for a better final. I mean, he is really, you know, borderline embarrassing this Australian team, which is a good team. I don't mean that negatively, only the fact that everything has gone right for the U.S. They have a great squad loaded with talent, good coaching staff, as does Australia and everybody else, but the game plan got out of whack when Australia just got themselves in a hole before they could really unveil their game plan. The defense didn't work, and 7 goals makes you want to change things pretty quickly.
Well, speed, depth, and experience. Very tough combination to beat.
Clock winds down. 4-3, 2-1. That'll do it. The United States wins the gold medal in the 1992 Under-19 Lacrosse Championships. All right, well, as the team celebrates, we'll take a short break and come back with final comments from Hofstra Stadium. New gold medal winner.
All right, Lee, thanks very much. Bob Hartenraft, you just said that you're very, very happy. What's the feeling like to win this gold medal? You were the favorite. Now, be honest with me. Was there pressure? Did the U.S. have to win this tournament?
Absolutely. Unbelievable pressure. I mean, when you're playing at home, you know, it just makes it doubly tough. And we were tremendous pressure on us. I mean, you know, I guess in coaching, we've been in a lot of big games before. And you know, you've done them and you've interviewed me, but this was the biggest game with the most pressure ever, I think, you know, for us, because we had to win this thing.
And how does that one feel now, Coach? This is the first time I've ever seen this. You're going to run away. Lift that up. You're going to run away? I kind of escaped, Leaf and Bob, but we'll stay here with the coach. Does that take the pressure off right now, what they just did?
That feels real good. That feels great. But knowing Beardsley, he's a character, so that's not surprising.
All right, why the total domination here over Australia? A lot of people, many people felt that they could capture the gold.
Yeah, I expected a real tough game because they run as well as we do, and their sticks are great. But, you know, the game in the United States, some of these guys got shirts on we gave them before the game, and it says USA lacrosse, defense wins the gold. And the difference between our lacrosse and the rest of the world is that we're better defensively. Our better athletes are playing defense, their better athletes are playing offense. And, you know, then you can dominate a game.
Give me the answers to such a quick start, 7-8 goal lead in the early minutes against the super team.
I don't have any answers. People wanted to know why we were getting off to a slow start in the early games, and I don't know, if I knew that, I'd be a rich man.
Are you a rich man?
No, I'm just a...
But you have a gold medal.
I got a gold medal I'll cherish.
Congratulations, Bob Hartenraft. I know you want to go celebrate, even though the guys prematurely did it to you without you knowing it. Congratulations.
It's a pleasure, and enjoy your golf game.
Thank you very much, Coach. Leaf, I don't know what that means, but I'll throw it back upstairs to you.
All right, Carl, go dry some of that Gatorade off your leg. It was a good move. You had the quickness of Carl Reuter getting out of the way of the Gatorade. We'll be back with some final comments. The United States wins 24